guys. So I wanted to sit down with you guys. I've been meaning to film this. It's January. Happy January. I wanted to share with you guys just really quickly some of the books that are in my own personal collection that I have on my reading list this year. I want to say 13, I think. These are right behind me. So I have a goal this year of reading 30 books at least. Let's get into that really quick. Okay. Woo! Here they are. I always feel like, oh, 13's not that many. And then I stack them up and I'm just like, girl. This is a good resting spot. Dude, this could be like a still or something. Guys, I don't know why you watch my videos. Embarrassing. This one, I haven't really read what it's about, but there's some books that I kind of just like to go in blindly and just read, especially if they're gifted books. So I think that this is definitely going to be one of those books and just see where it goes, see where we go. This was a Christmas gift from my partner. So he got me this book and he felt that it was very interesting and thought that I might enjoy it. I want to say that this was the last book that this author wrote. His name is Kent Harrow. This is him here. Okay, so that's book number 1. I'm just gonna set him down. I feel like that's easy. So next one is The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion. I bought this book a year ago and actually posted a photo because I meant to start it last year and then I ended up starting like 5 other books. But this year I'm dedicating time to this book. I'm finally going to start it and we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it together. So yeah, I'm very excited to start this. I'm gonna be saying that a lot. I'm excited to start all of these guys. So I'm just gonna say that about all of them. Sadly, I know that Joan Didion recently, or not so recently, but she passed away. So I'm so sad that I haven't actually gotten the chance to read any of her books. This would be my first one. I can't wait to get started on it. The next one is No Land to Light On. So this is another selection from my partner, another Christmas gift that he got me. He got me a lot of books. Love that for me. But yeah, this is one of them. This says it's about a love as immense and free as the sky above walls and borders between 2 young Syrians living in America who are separated by a travel ban. So yeah, very, very interesting. I am looking forward to starting this one. I feel like it's gonna be a tearjerker and I can't wait to sob. So yeah, that was number 3. On to number 4. Bam! Stephen King. So we're gonna go through like 4 of these guys. Just kidding. Not really. So Stephen King, 1922. This one is one I actually started and it ended up at the bottom of the pile again. So I feel like this one I'm gonna get through it very quickly. Last year, I think I just started it at the wrong time. So Stephen King, 1922. I do believe there's a movie on Netflix about this story, but I haven't read the story, so I haven't wanted to go and watch the movie because then that just kind of ruins it for me. I'm just like comparing everything, every little detail. As you guys know, Stephen King is my favorite author. I feel like I talk about this a lot and people are just like, Stacey, we know. But he is, and people are probably like, why Stacey? There's so many other people. It's just like, I know, girl. But Stephen King has been my favorite author since I was a kid, honestly. I was homeschooled my entire upbringing. I spent like an ungodly amount of hours at the library. My parents used to drive us after school, after homeschool, to the library, and we would just be there for like 4 or 5 hours while they got work done. And my favorite childhood memories, honestly, is being dropped off at the library and just getting lost forever. So you would walk into the library and there was like, you would walk to the left-hand side and it was like the children's section. There was like these big windows and a lot of like sitting space, like around a rug with like a bunch of chairs and tables. In the middle section of the library, when you walk in, there was just like a bunch of computers. And then on the right side was like the adult section, like the older people and stuff. And I remember like going to outside, like you weren't really allowed to go outside if you were like a certain age. Like they would actually like get mad at you because there's like obviously Stephen King type of stories that you could read about like blood and like this clown that like kills people. So yeah, not suitable for children, I get it, but my curiosity got the best of me, as it always does. And I remember going when I was like, I want to say maybe like 9 years old. I could be wrong. But yeah, I was really, really young, and I made my way over to that side. And I remember picking out a book by Stephen King called Hearts in Atlantis. That book is amazing. Please pick it up. It's one of my favorites by him. And there's also a movie with Anthony Hopkins in it. And that movie's so great too, but obviously it doesn't do the book justice because the book is incredible. So yeah, that was the very first book I ever picked up by his. And I remember going to like a little corner of the bookshelves where nobody could see me, and I just kind of like hid behind this chair and I started reading that book. So yeah, that was my first memory of picking up a Stephen King book, and ever since then, at like 9-10 years old, I just fell in love with his writing. I think he's a phenomenal storyteller. I'm a huge fan. I hope I get to meet him one day, have one of my books signed by him. That is my not so short background story of why I love him so much. It's just a memory of mine that I have, and obviously he's an incredible storyteller. And yeah, so if you haven't read a story by Stephen King, I would really recommend you start off with a less horrific book. The next one is Diary of an Oxygen Thief. My best friend gifted this to me for Christmas as well. I got a lot of books for Christmas. I am so happy about that. That just made my entire life, honestly. I think that's like the greatest thing that you can. I was gonna pull this hair that I saw and it's attached to my head. I tried really hard to not be like, ew. She made me like read the very first page, which is just like very short, but she made me read the first page because she's just like, I opened this up and I read it and I was just like, she's gonna love this. I am chaotic and this book screams chaos, and I'm really excited to read this. I'm honestly hoping that I can get to this fairly soon. Next one. So this is one you can tell, guys, I got it at 20% off at Target. It's been years. I think like 2018. I never started it. There's some that I'm like getting to this year on my reading list that have been on my shelf for a little while. So yeah, this is one of them. My Husband's Wife. Sketch. Yeah, this one is by Jane Corey, and it seems really interesting, right up my alley. So yeah, this is another one on my reading list that I'm really excited to start. The next one I bought a year ago as well, and I haven't started it yet. It's The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. A lot of my friends have read this one and they seem to have really enjoyed it. So yeah, this is definitely at the top of my list to start very soon. I really love the cover art to this. I think the colors are so great. I feel like everybody that watches this who's a book reader will probably have read it already. I'm a fan of hardcovers, guys. I usually prefer hardcovers, but I don't like to read my book when it has like the sleeve, so I usually just tuck it away somewhere until I finish it, and then I'll just put it back on. This is another one that I have on my reading list called Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. After so many times that people have told me to read it, I realized that I actually owned it. So yeah, I've had it since like probably 2019 as well. I feel like the longer I've had it on my bookshelf, like the more excited I am to just dive into it. Like I feel really good about committing to books that have been sitting there that I have been wanting to read, but then other books will kind of come along and takes my attention away. So this year is devoted to giving some love to the books that have been on my bookshelf. So I'm gonna do it right this year. You guys, we're almost done. Another Stephen King book. I love everything about the back and the front cover. Stephen King, Joyland. This is the illustrated edition, and I really love how the pages, they just like look so like uneven. Guys, I get so excited whenever there's a Stephen King book that I haven't read, which there's a few that I haven't read yet. I don't think there's ever been a Stephen King book that I've read that I didn't like or that I regretted buying because I didn't want it in my personal collection. Like, my goal is to buy every single Stephen King book and just have a wall just like entirely dedicated to Stephen King books. The next one is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. So this book, I feel like everybody and their mother has already seen the movie Gone Girl with Ben Affleck in it, and I honestly love that movie so much. I feel like it's one of those that always like leaves me just gasping. Like, but at the end of it, I'm just like, honestly, good for her. Guys, I'm chaotic, I'm a mess. My partner had found Gone Girl at the library for like 50 cents or $1. So he picked it up. He's just like, I know you've seen the movie, but like, I don't know if you've read the book, but here's, you can have it for your personal collection. So I was super stoked about that. I have not read the book, and normally I like to read the book before I watch the movie, but this was the other way around. Books are always like way more descriptive, and they just have so much more rawness to them. So I really love them. The story and the movie is already like so crazy and so chaotic. So I just feel like this book is just I'm gonna die, honestly. Gone Girl. So I have, so I've talked about this book already in one of my videos, like one of my previous videos, and I've like posted, if you're following me on Instagram, I've posted about it. So my friend and I did a little book exchange, like we exchanged books from our own personal collection. I'm already actually a few chapters in, so I've already started this one, but I started it last year, so I'm gonna finish it this year. I actually really do like it. This is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. It says, France, 1714, in a moment of desperation, a young woman named Adeline meets a dangerous stranger and makes a terrible mistake as she realizes the limitations of her Faustian bargain, being able to live forever without being able to be remembered by anyone she sees. So basically, like, she makes this wish, and it results in her not being able to be remembered by anybody. So like nobody can make a memory like of her. They forget her. So she basically goes like year and year, I believe she's like immortal. She ends up going through life just so lonely. It's crazy. It's just a really, really great story that I've been enjoying so far. A few chapters in, I haven't gotten too far into it, but you can see my bookmark here. But yeah, it's really good, so I definitely recommend you pick that up. I will probably just do a more in-depth review once I finish it, so yeah. The last book on the list, another Stephen King book, I'm sorry. So this is another one that my partner got me, not for Christmas, but he picked it up last year. So this is one of his newer books, Billy Summers. So this book came out last year, 2022, I believe, or 2021. My partner bought it for me just like immediately as soon as it was on the shelves. So I'm really excited to jump into this one just because it's a newer book of his. I'm always excited whenever he comes out with new books and just to get my hands on it. Even if I don't get started on it right away, it's just a new book of his that I get to have in my own personal collection and know that I will visit it at some point. That concludes the books that I have on my reading list, half of it anyway. As I said, I'm planning on making another video sometime soon with a book haul. I also decided to make a book jar. I've seen this floating around on YouTube a lot and I really wanted to do it. So I saw this girl kind of get a book jar together and she wrote the names of a bunch of books that she wanted to read and she threw them in a jar. I feel like a lot of people do it differently. So for me, this is the book jar. I've included some clips in this video, just kind of like showing you guys me getting it together. I basically just like wrote the names of a bunch of books that are on my reading list and I just kind of threw them in here. I basically just wanted to make this because I thought it would be a really fun way of, you know, when I'm feeling stuck, I don't know, you know, what book to read next, or I'm stuck between a couple of books, I can kind of refer to my book jar and let it decide for me. So in this video, I'm going to pick out the first new book that I'm going to be reading this year, so I'm really excited to do that. I've been waiting to film this video so I can do that. Right now I am just reading a book that has started last year that I'm about to finish. I'm like one chapter away from finishing, but my first official book of 2023 is going to be decided in just a few minutes, and I'm very excited. I'm also hoping that it's one I already have, that I just went through the list with you guys. The first book of 2023, so let's do it. I am super excited. I already kind of like shook this up prior to recording this, so everything's all mixed up. So yeah, let's see. I feel this one. This one's calling me. This one's calling to me. Okay. Okay, I'm scared. Okay. This one, oh my god, Stacey, open it. Ooh, okay. This one was at the top of my list. I literally just finished telling you guys about The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. So, wow. I am so excited. Look at my jittery fingers, guys. I'm okay, I promise. I drink too much coffee, but this is her right here, The Midnight Library. So yeah, guys, that is going to conclude this video. I really just wanted to sit down with you guys and just talk about my little book plans and book list. I'd love to hear about yours. As always, I'm going to include my Goodreads in the description box below so that you guys can follow me, stay up to date on what I'm currently reading. But yeah, thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. With my special guest here. She is so big, you guys. She's so big, she's so beautiful, she's glorious, she's powerful. And I need to water her. She's hungry. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here because I'm talking your ear off. I hope that you guys don't get tired of me talking so much. I feel like I don't have a lot of sit downs with you guys. I usually just kind of like compile a bunch of like little clips together, put some cute music behind there, and just kind of like call that a video. I'm definitely into that sort of thing, but every once in a while I like to talk about books a lot, and I hope that you're into that, and I can talk forever. Like, so yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.